Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 2 assembly. I hope you all managed to have a lovely and restful weekend. I know there's not much to do at the moment, but we had really lovely weather, and I hope you managed to get outside and do something active with your families, go to the park or went to a playground, did something nice with your families indoors, watched some nice movies. That's what I did. And most importantly, just rested and had a lovely weekend. So I've got lots of things to talk to you about this week. The first thing, I'm sure you've all been watching the news. That's what I was doing this weekend and last week, staying up late, watching the news about the US election. As you probably are aware now, there has been a decision this week, and the decision was that the people voted. It was quite close, and they keep going back and forth, and I'm sure you've heard in the news that there's going to be some more investigations about it, but at the moment the President of the United States of America has been announced to be Joe Biden. Now you might know Joe Biden because he was Barack Obama's vice president when Barack Obama was president of the United States. So he has made history because he is I think he's actually the oldest prime minister to have been elected. He's 78 years old. And he has had a very amazing, extraordinary life. Have a look on BBC or Newsround. There's lots of information about him, and it goes through his life and the struggles that he's gone through. He's a very aspirational person to think about, that his resilience and getting through a very difficult life. So have a look and investigate more about him. The other amazing thing that happened, because he was elected as president, we have the first ever female US vice president. Her name is Kamala Harris. And the other reason that she's so significant and will be always remembered in history is that she's the first Black South Asian back from for her family, her descent. So that's quite a lot of amazing historical things that are happening in the United States of America. Now you might wonder why I'm talking to you about it. And the reason is because obviously we work very closely, the UK, but also just as a world, as a nation, it's very important to keep up to date and to know what's happening in the world. So have a talk about it in class, or you can talk about it with your families at home. It's very interesting. Every country, every nation has a different political system, and it's really interesting to find out more. So that could be a task that you did at home or in class. There's lots of videos, as I said, on Newsround, Espresso, BBC Bite Size has lots of information. So you can talk about that at home or in school. Very exciting times ahead in the States, and obviously for us as well, working so closely. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, sorry, I've written the list, so I need to remember. Oh yes, I've recorded a little video just to remind you about the new playground zones. You'll see when you go outside on the playground that Humphrey and I have marked out the zones using cones. So please make sure that you are staying in your zones, and most importantly is that you're not walking on the running track, or you're not playing on the running track, sorry, and that you're allowing people to move on the running track to their zones. So as I said to you, this is a trial. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. I can hear some children outside now. I'm gonna go outside and have a look in a minute to see how they're doing. But this is just to help us so that everybody gets a turn of doing something, so that it's not the same part of the playground. Obviously we would love for it to go back to normal, but we need to make sure that we're keeping safe and that we're protecting each other by keeping all the bubbles, the different year groups, separate. So please make sure if you've got any ideas, you can talk to your teachers, all the adults out on the playground, and then they'll come and talk to me, or you can talk to me when I'm outside. The other thing that you'll know that we're celebrating this week, and that was celebrated over the weekend, is Remembrance Day. So every year on the 11th day of November, the 11th of the 11th, at the 11th hour, which we will do this Wednesday, is we have a 2 minutes of silence. And the reason that we do this is for us to use this time, this 2 minutes, to think about all the people in the past and all the people now, even to this day, who have been or are in a war. And there are many things that they have done to help us to get to this point. So all of the wars in the past that have been fought, all of the soldiers who have fought to protect us as civilians living in this country and all countries around the world. We're going to take a moment, 2 minutes, to remember them. As I said, obviously in a normal assembly, I would play you a video. I'm going to send it to your teachers. It's a really good one on Espresso that it just explains Remembrance Day, and it just tells you what the celebration is and what you can do. And I did buy one over the weekend. I've forgotten to put it on, but you'll see lots of adults wearing poppies. And a poppy, which is a flower, is a symbol of Remembrance Day. So lots of people wear them to show their support, and also the money that you raise goes towards lots of different charities that help with soldiers in this country. So on Wednesday at 11 o'clock, we'll have a 2-minute silence. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is, well, last week we talked about how being kind, giving each other a compliment, supporting each other by making each other happy, because obviously at this time of the year it's getting a little bit tricky anyway with the weather changing, and now that we're in the second lockdown, things are a little bit different. So it's just about making sure that we're all keeping each other happy and, you know, coming to school feeling good and going home and feeling good. So the other thing that I thought, besides kindness and supporting each other, was finding a hobby. So at home at the moment, I was thinking over the weekend, you know, sometimes I just will watch TV or I'll go for a walk, but it can get quite boring. So I thought, what can I do to make sure that I'm doing something else a little bit interesting, learning something new, developing my skills? And one of the things that I did was I've decided to start more cooking. I love cooking. My mum and dad are Lebanese, but my mum is an amazing cook. You'll ask all of my friends, that's what I say all the time. This is not as good as my mum's. If you ate my mum's food, you would love it. And when I was younger, one of the things that I did a lot with my mum was we did lots of baking and lots of cooking of Lebanese food, but also just baking cookies or scones. So one of the things I thought I would do is to look online and have a look at any cookery classes, or just even watch some videos and do some more cooking. And I did actually a dumpling making course, and I started making dumplings. I will send your teacher some photos of my dumplings so they can show you. And that's one of the things that I'm going to learn how to do. But the other thing I'm going to do is baking more often, and I'll just go and get it because I did some baking over the weekend. So over the weekend, I decided to look in my cupboard and see what I had, and I had lots of blueberries and some bananas. So I made this delicious banana and blueberry loaf, and I've brought it into school to share with my friends. I will obviously I washed my hands already when I made it, but I will wash my hands and put it in a separate little plate for them, so that, and to anyone in the staff, I've already told them if they'd like to have some, they can come and get some, and they can also come and see me and see how they're doing. So I want you to have a think about, it could be anything that you'd want to do, something that you want to learn how to do. So sewing or knitting, I love, that's another thing that I was thinking. I used to love knitting when I was younger. You might want to do some online art courses, or get into cooking and baking like me with your families. It's such a lovely thing to do as a family, and then you get to eat it and enjoy it, or share it with someone else, as I've done. So yes, I want you to think about a hobby that you can do at home, especially on the weekend when it's there's a little bit less to do, something to keep us focused, so that we're looking forward to something, keeping us positive, and, you know, making us more resilient to get through the winter months, but also this second lockdown. So please come and tell me, or share with me what you're doing at home. I'd love to hear about it. Your parents can send me some photos if they want to, or some videos, whatever, and I would love to see them. I will share them again. I can share them on Twitter. And yes, so I hope you have a lovely week. I can't wait to hear about all your achievements in Achievement Assembly. Until then, be safe, look after each other, and most importantly, have a fantastic week. Okay, bye.